We're live.
We're
Yay.
live.
We're just a little late because my laptop was having a real hard time, which I can relate to. So, we've all had our buffering
Also,
days.
my apartment is really small anyway, and like half of my bookshelves are blocked by my Christmas tree. So I was like climbing around, like leaning over my table to get books. I was like, this is not safe. I should just move the table.
No, you should not be climbing on. Yeah. As a person who is doing that here at the store with all the boxes I've set, it does get dangerous.
It does. It's hazardous.
But good. But I hope you found some great ones.
I found some really good ones.
I had an advantage because I am at the store, so it was easier for me to grab mine. But we're going to put them all of our books on a list for everyone to peruse and shop. Mine are all ones that we have in store. I think some of Anna's are also in store. So it should be pretty easy to shop from there if you are trying to get gifts by a certain date that is maybe the end of next week. So just a heads up on that, because at this point, anything that's not on our shelves is, you're going to probably have to wait till the first or second week of January to get. So just a quick note on that. We also have a list called On Our Shelves Now that I made today that's on the website also that has a little more guidance. It's a broader range of a lot of genres. Whereas today's theme that we're going to talk about is books that make you happy, right? Or is it finding happiness? Is it remembering what happiness is?
I think the title that I first saw was, "Wouldn't it be nice to be happy?" And I was like, whoa, that's a really loaded title there.
Well, and it's and this late in the game, I think it has limited our options. So there's a lot of books that make us happy that we don't have on hand necessarily. But we are going to talk about some really awesome ones for yourself, for gifts, for just in general.
For January.
Yeah. I think that's my move, since I have not gotten anything shipped out in time. I'm just like, you know what? Here's a nice winter present. Like, it's cold and dark, and you deserve something nice. So here's. But yeah. Anyway, so I have most of mine are nonfiction. Yours are mostly fiction, I think, right?
Mine are all fiction because I don't read nonfiction.
We balance each other out so well. Okay, well, I'm going to start because I'm really obsessed with this one, and it's a visual. I want to see if I can get the lighting here better. I'm sorry, guys. I'm in the back office. Okay, so this is one that was kind of confusing for people if you can't see it in the store, which you can't obviously right now. It's called Be Wild, Be Free by Amber Fossey. You can see that beautiful foil on the cover. So it looks like it looks like a very motivational picture book, but it's not for kids. It does have some adult language in it, which I love, and it has these beautiful little illustrations like watercolor. Let's see if I can find a good one. Let's see. There's this little creature, this little. Here we go. What is it? The simple joy of being alive. That's just so. They're so cute. And some of them are like some of them are kind of sassy. Like I said, there is some profanity, but it's just so cute. And we've like sometimes just opened this up while we're just working, and just like open random pages. There's like a little rat who's dressed as Spider-Man because he's like, the rat realizes he's only like the average lifespan is only a year, and he's like, well, so I just decided I'm gonna wear this costume every day. And you're like, how dark but also beautiful.
Motivational.
So, if you want something that's very poignant but also funny, and maybe for someone that has that sense of humor that would appreciate the occasional curse word, I would definitely recommend Be Wild, Be Free. It's easy to read. It's just so cute. And like I said, the beautiful little watercolors and little animals, little sloths and axolotls and birds, a little rat and Spider-Man costume. Oh, hi, Kyle. It's still technically March, so if anything, you're going to give to people really early. That is exactly the attitude we should all have. Thank you, Kyle. Yeah, we're all just living in March. Yeah, so really just 9 months ahead on those gifts.
We're all doing great.
Thank you. Also, Kyle reminded me, if you guys have questions, happy to answer specific questions. You can leave a comment and we will hopefully see it and acknowledge it and answer it. Or just say, I do not have an answer for that. Okay, Anna, why don't you take away one of your happy picks?
Okay, so right now my brain is mush, and pretty much all I'm reading right now is Bridgertons.
Love it. I
know that many of us are excited about the Bridgerton series that Shonda Rhimes has created for Netflix. which is dropping on Christmas Day. And I know you're thinking, oh, but there's no way I can read 8 romance novels by December 25th. To which I say, you don't really have to, but you honestly could. Because the truth of the matter is, lately I start one of these like at 9 p.m. or something after I turn the TV off for the night, and then I read much too late. And then in the morning, I kind of crawl out of bed and I finish them. They're so fast. They're Regency romance novels. The primary Bridgerton series. There are multiple spinoffs, but the primary Bridgerton series is about a family of 8 children, their mother as well, and each of them, they're named alphabetically: Antony, Benedict, Colin, Daphne, Eloise,
I love
Francesca,
that.
Gregory, Hyacinth. It's super corny, but darned if it doesn't help you remember who's who. Um, each of the siblings gets their own romance novel, and they're all different. And I have just found the safety of a romantic happily ever after extremely comforting this year. So you don't really need my recommendation, but you're getting it anyway. We love the Bridgertons. Boom.
I can't wait. I'm very excited, and maybe we'll actually read one of the books. But I have to read the romance book club book, which I have not started. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. I'm gonna do. I guess those are 2. Let's see. I'm like picking what order to do mine in. I should have planned this ahead, but as you can see, I couldn't even plan my laptop ahead. So, okay. The next one is another cute little, easy to read, sort of animal centric, and it's hedgehogs. Get it? Because they're hedgehogs. They're cute and they're hugging you. Okay. So anyway, it's, as you can imagine, assorted, very adorable photos of hedgehogs with cute little quotes included. I just can't get what the orientation of this mirror situation is.
I know.
Okay.
I keep like going the wrong direction.
How do I make it in the center of the? There we go. Look at it, be so cute. She's
adorable.
They're adorable. I want this book. So yeah, this is Hedgehogs. Would recommend for literally anyone. It's $14.99. Photos of hedgehogs being cute. There you go.
Basically,
also,
Instagram.
Valentine's Day gift.
Use your phone.
What'd you say?
I said it's basically Instagram, but you don't have to use your phone. You can put your phone down.
It's like you just like flip a page instead. It's better for your eyes.
It is. It is.
They should do like some of the royalties go to like hedgehog rescue. Anyway, maybe they do. I haven't looked into it, but you know what? That's a great idea. Good job, me.
Good job. I am going to go with another choice that is not exactly. Actually, I should do 2. I should do these 2 together because they're both like romance fiction crossovers. So the first one is I've Got Your Number by Sophie Kinsella. This is not a new book. You've probably heard of Sophie Kinsella's Shopaholic series, which I personally cannot read because it gives my frugal self heart palpitations. I love Becky Bloomwood, the Shopaholic main character, but all I can think about is her like poor financial literacy. I can't deal with it. But this is hilarious. It's about a girl named Poppy who loses her engagement ring and then loses her cell phone promptly thereafter, which is a problem because, she needs people to be able to call her if they find her engagement ring. So she finds a cell like discarded in a trash can, and she picks it up and she gives like, this is her new number. Except that was a company phone, and it belonged to the assistant of this really grumpy corporate guy. And he's like, that's a company phone. I need that phone back. It's got my emails on it. She's like, no, you can't have it back. I need this phone. And they start texting. And it's just so funny. It's the 3rd time I read it. I was listening to it on audio, and I'd be like washing dishes at 3 a.m, just like giggling to myself like a weirdo. It's so cute. It's an instant mood lightener. And then the other one that is a fiction romance crossover is The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. Let's see if I can get this.
Ooh, that's close. Pivot a little to your. Ooh, there you go. Nice.
See, the problem is it's like a pastel watercolor cover anyway. There we go. See? Perfect. It's by Beth O'Leary. It's about a girl and a guy who he has an apartment. He needs a little extra cash. She needs an apartment and has very limited funds. And so they move in together, except He is a palliative care night nurse, and she has a regular day job, so they never meet. They sleep in the same bed, they occupy the same space, but they never meet. The whole like first part of the book is them like leaving post-it notes for each other all over the apartment, and it's just there is some like emotional stuff to work through for each of the characters in this book, so it's not like a light ride the whole way, but it's so sweet. I loved it, and it's super witty, and it's very romantic. I loved it.
I really want to read that. It sounds you've described it before, and every time you talk about it, I'm like, I really need to read that.
It's so good. The audiobook is wonderful too. So this is another thing. If we don't have a book in the store, Libro FM, you can purchase audiobooks from us through them. So you're not supporting the other guy. And it's instant because it's digital. So you can purchase for somebody a Libro FM either audiobook or subscription, and they just download it onto their phones, and then it's in their ears. I don't know why I did that, but you know.
That's a great point. I totally forgot about Libro FM as an option, but I think it's a great. I talked about getting that for my dad, who listens to. He doesn't read. He almost exclusively reads it through audiobooks. It's really easy to use. I'm going to put the link in here if I can figure out how.
Well, for anyone who, I have a lot of friends who, for like whatever reason in various stages of their lives, girlfriends who have new babies, for example, like their arms are full the majority of the time, but maybe they want to listen to audiobooks while they're nursing or cleaning or, whatever. That's kind of a weird example, but whatever. Lots of people have lots of different circumstances in which paper reading is hard, but ear reading, listening is the word for that.
Different experience. Yep.
Anyway, you want to go again?
I'll do one of my few fiction ones next as well, which is sort of in that vein of it has romance. It's just a wonderful, sweet story. The Key to Happily Ever After by Tiff Marcello. She is wonderful. She lives in the area, and it's just a really fun. You can tell from the cover. It's three sisters and their family. They're trying to keep their family's wedding planning business thriving. Trying to keep it going well, and as you can imagine, wedding planning can come with some hiccups. But yeah, it's about family really, and the sisters and their relationship, and it actually does take place in DC, the DC area. Sorry, but in any case, it's like I said, it's just lovely and so fun. And her other books are also great. So if you like this one and you want to try the others, I think we have at least one of her others on the shelf right now, which I can tell you the title of. No, I can't. It's out on the shelf. But it's great.
Okay, I'm going to go with one that you've probably heard of. Maybe you've heard of this like sort of obscure, charming. No, Crazy Rich Asians is fantastic. And I read this a couple of summers ago, and then I read China Rich Girlfriend. I listened to it on audio actually a couple of months ago. And I was like, why have I not gotten back into this series before now? This is one of those books that like is full of drama, but it's not the kind of drama that like is going to torture you. It's the drama of people who are so rich, it's hard to feel sorry for them. It's like, oh no, this person has discovered my secret Swiss bank account. And I'm like, oh man, that's terrible. What's going to happen now? Like, that's me eating popcorn. It's like, far flung adventures and like traveling and first class plane. Remember flying? That feels like a strange thing. Also, to be clear, there are plenty of perfectly relatable problems in this book. Relationship problems are not restricted to any particular economic class, but there are definitely some things that happen in this book that I'm like, this is only a rich people issue. It's just thoroughly entertaining and very much an escapist read. So, Crazy Rich Asians, China Rich Girlfriend, Rich People Problems. I think that's the trilogy. Highly recommend.
You know what? I should probably just rewatch that movie real quick too, because that's a really good one. I mean, read the book and then watch the movie, but like
it's so lush, like visually,
just visually beautiful. Yeah. Oh, hi Sally. All three of the trilogy are great. If you like the character Astrid, you'll especially love the third book. I do like the character Astrid. Thank you, Sally. Movie is fun too, and there will be another one. I'm excited for the other movie too. Yeah. Hi, Sally. Also, there we go. I'm like, am I centered? There we go.
Hey, Sal, I know. I'm like, which way do I go?
Thanks for the truffle, Sally. Thank you to everyone who has delivered us amazing sugary sweets of all kinds. It really does mean a lot to us. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so my next one is this. I think I've talked about this before, so I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record. But World of Wonders by Amy Nezukamatohil. And this is just a really gorgeous. It's slim. Look at it. So it's about nature. It's the subtitle is In Praise of Fireflies, Whale Sharks, and Other Astonishments. So you can see in the book she has all these really beautiful small sort of illustrations or artwork to go with the different animals that she talks about. And they're not all animals. Some of them are plants. But it's really cool. It's like, oh, here we go. Oh, there's a cute little one. And these little sort of vignettes that go with them, or facts, or stories, histories, whatever, to accompany them. And it's really cool. It's got like all these sort of creatures that you haven't thought about in a while. The axolotl, which came up earlier in my other. Apparently, that's all. I just like books with cool watercolor illustrations of obscure creatures. But yeah, so it's gorgeous and it's easy to read, short, sort of just like. If somebody wants just to take a minute to appreciate the natural world and all of its wonder, I would definitely recommend this one.
Gorgeous. Okay, I am going to pitch another oldie but goodie here. This is Agatha Raisin and the Quiche of Death. This is a UK edition that I picked up in a mystery bookshop, I think called Murder and Mayhem in Hay-on-Wye, Wales. And I saw there were like a bajillion books by this author, MC Beaton, and I was like, wow, she's written a lot of things. Maybe I should check one of them out. And then I didn't open it for like a year until I got really burned out on the genre that I had been reading at the time. And I was like, I want to read something with no magic, with no like whatever. I always love magic, but at the time I was just very burned out. And so I picked this up. It's 250 pages long. And it's about a really grumpy London PR lady who has like upper middle class dreams of like retiring to the Cotswolds and becoming a village lady. And so she does. But she doesn't know how to make friends because she didn't have any friends being a PR person in London. She just had like contacts and people that she kind of bullied to get what she wanted. But she moves to this town and wants to be a village lady. So she enters a village quiche competition, except spoiler alert, she can't cook. So she gets a quiche from a French patisserie, wouldn't be patisserie, whatever, in London. And then someone dies after eating it, so she has to clear her name. And she is a singularly unpleasant person, like at the start of this series. And really, she has her moments throughout the entirety of it, but just she's such a charismatic character. Like you just cannot help loving her and sort of loving her. She almost is like a small child in the way that she kind of grows up and learns how to like make friends and trust people. And it's such a cozy environment. Like I just, what's the name of this town again? I don't remember what the town is called. Anyway,
I sure couldn't tell you.
It's adorable. I love it. I love it. And there's like a bajillion of them, but we have the first one on our shelves.
I think that's one that you won, like the Small Business Saturday competition for whose pick would sell the most copies. I think that was the one you picked, and I think that was the winner that year.
No, I think Amanda won, but I was close.
It was you were very close, if not, yeah. I guess
I'm nothing if not honest.
Touch and go there. Okay, so my next one is, and this makes me very happy, Buzzsaw, because sometimes it's just nice to think about, hey, remember that time the Nationals won the World Series? Like, yeah, this is a pretty bad year. 2020 is really bad. But before this, we had baseball. We had Juan Soto. We had a victory, and it was amazing. So yeah, if you want to just like relive that experience and just kind of remember baseball and winning, would definitely recommend Buzzsaw by Jesse Doherty. We have, I think, at least 6 copies on the shelf right now, so you should be good if you're buying it as a gift. But also just a I love baseball. I love that time that we won the World Series. That was great.
I have got one of
Yes.
Sanjay Menon's latest. This is 10 Things I Hate About Pinky. Sanjay Menon just like continuously churns out absolutely adorable contemporary YAs. This one is about an activist girl fake dating a guy who is like ultra professional, and oh my goodness, he like comes to stay with their family like at their beach house for the summer, and there are more details that I won't ruin, but just every single one of her contemporaries, When Dimple Met Rishi, Love is, I think, From Twinkle with Love.
Yep.
There's one about Sweetie. There's something about Sweetie. Is that what it is?
That's Sweetie, yeah.
Yeah, Sweetie, 10 Things. They're all, first of all, they all have really cute movie titles, which I love. It gives like the whole sort of universe like coherence. But these are great for the teen readers in your lives or people who read YA. Just like lighthearted and fun and funny. Highly recommend.
Are they making? They're making a Netflix series, right? And I don't know if they're doing it. It's out.
What? Yeah, Netflix India made adapted When Dimple Met Rishi, and I think it was called Mismatched. I think the TV show is called Mismatched. So,
excuse me, I have to go. Actually,
to finish the live stream, Lelia.
I completely missed that. Thanks, Netflix, for prompting me on that. To be fair, I wouldn't have recognized it because Mismatched is nothing in the book. But anyway, Sunday Bennett is great. All of her books are just beautiful and joyful bundles of wonder. Yeah. Next up is another nonfiction collection that I've talked about before, The Book of Delights by Ross Gay. As you can tell by the title, it is delightful. Nope, that was the wrong way. Delightful.
Right.
But yeah, it's also like really short little bits, so you can kind of pick it up and put it down again. Ross Gay just has such a positive energy, and he challenged himself to write down like one thing every day that delighted him for a year, I think is how it started. And it's just really beautiful and thoughtful. And he takes these things that are sort of like every day, or at one point in our lives, maybe were every day, like an interaction with a stranger where, he said like, good morning, or acknowledge them in some way, or, a flower growing somewhere that's unexpected. And it sounds kind of cheesy, but I feel like when you read it, it's not. It's you're just sort of like going on this journey of everyday acknowledgement of something delightful with Ross.
Also, I think after this year, like, is there such a thing as like over appreciation of like small, lovely moments? I sure don't think so.
I think I'm totally with you on that. Yeah.
Okay. I've got another awesome YA. So this is Jennifer Lynn Barnes's latest. It is called The Inheritance Games. You can kind of see the cover. It is, oh my gosh. Okay. So
I like it.
It's a really involved cover. Basically, it's about a young woman who is broke more or less on her own, except for her older sister. She's in high school, and one day someone shows up and informs her that one of the 10 richest men in America has included her in his will, and she has no idea why. And so she is like flown with her sister to his house in Texas, and it's basically kind of got a Knives Out, like scramble to find the will sort of, and Knives Out, whatever. The point is, it's got a Knives Out vibe, and there's a scramble to sort of unravel the will. Also, he has 4 very attractive sons. So naturally, I just want to reiterate the importance of 4 very attractive sons. Not all of them are our main character's age, but they're all attractive. So, just a really important literary mechanic that I thought it was important to address.
I think so, yeah.
Highly recommend. I read it in like one night or something. It was great.
I've heard really good things about that. I think this is I don't know, but people have said this is like her breakout, that she's written amazing books in the past, but this is the one that's finally getting the attention that she's due. So
her last series was also one of those that I was like soap opera gasping in the coffee shop, and people are like, "Lady, shut up!" And I'm like, "No, it's so good." So anyway,
isn't she like a doctor? Like
I
maybe she's a PhD, or she's
think she's a PhD of like
does some kind
psychology.
of like really intense. Would you say it at Harvard or something like that? Oh no.
I think she's a psychologist. Like I
Oh,
think
okay, yeah,
she's a doctor like of psychology. I could be wrong, but she's highly educated, which like it
that makes
shows
sense
her
with
plots are
her.
really well constructed.
Yeah. But anyway, very cool. My next and last pick is also a YA novel, The Beholder by Anna, who's right there. Nope, right there.
Right here.
Nailed it. Got there. Sorry, I had to, because it does. It's so happy in a different way than any of the other books that I think I have talked about, because it really just sweeps you away into a whole nother world that has such a strong fairy tale feel that really just makes you, just completely get lost in it, which I think is not something that I've experienced in a lot of books in the, that I can remember recently, like in the last several years. So I would completely recommend this to anyone, and because it's so, you don't have to like fantasy to want to. You might think, if you're just looking at the cover, like it's not, it doesn't, if you're not a person that's really into that, there's just a smidge of, like, I wouldn't call it magic, I would call it
Confusing world building.
good, more interesting, like world building, but it's not like an epic fantasy. It really is just sort of like a fairy tale that you're pulled into with all these wonderful characters and in political intrigue, and there's obviously some romance and very cool, like being on a ship and high seas, travel to new lands, and it's so good and beautiful and warm, like in your like a fireplace, but in a book form. So this is the first one. Obviously, you should read the second one when you're done with it, The Boundless. So if you want to read it yourself or give it as a gift, would recommend for literally everyone. Thank you. The Beholder by Anna Bright.
Thank you. And I will sign it for you if you order it from One More Page.
Yeah.
Yep.
So pretty fancy.
Pretty fancy.
Do you have?
I have two more.
Oh,
Two more, and I'll be quick. So the first one is Act Like It by Lucy Parker. This is a whole series. The London Celebrities series is it's just delightful. Basically, it's one of those sort of there's 5 books that I know of to the series right now. They're interwoven, sets of characters, and some of them are stage actors. Some of them are like, I don't think they use the phrase Cirque du Soleil, but like they're Cirque du Soleil performers. And it's a set of like 5 romance novels, more or less set in London's West End, and they're just it's such a like a great setting to begin with, and her characters on top of that are just wonderful. I love this series. I devoured the first 4, and I have the 5th one sitting on my shelf for like a really bad day. So that, and then this is, you can tell how old this book is because it's like creased. Also, this is like for sure the old version, probably published 2000. So
yep, I remember that.
This is Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging, and it is just like, there are 10 of these books. They're written in diary form by Georgia Nicholson, and she's just a girl growing up in England, and she wants to date boys and has friend drama, and like thinks her parents don't give her enough, like they won't throw her a birthday party in a club. I can't remember if
How dare they.
She's 16 years old. They're like, no, that's not happening. But it's the writing and the character is really what, first of all, the wit of the writing is like really what carries this series through. Not a whole lot changes. I have read all 10 of them, from books 1 to 10, but like it's just wit, like just constant, like amusing, relatable wit. And then the main character is just so aspirational. And there's like an innocence and a naivete about her that I really enjoy. I think the film opens with a sequence that happens later in the book basically she and her friends are going to a costume party, and I think they were all supposed to dress up as like food products, and she is dressed up as a cocktail olive. And then she gets to the party and her friends are all sort of dressed up kind of sexy. And she's like, we were going to be interesting. And her friends are like, but boys don't like interesting and they don't like funny girls. And she was like, well, screw that. It's a delight. So I very much recommend that one for readers young and old. And it won the Prince. So
Oh, I forgot it won the Prince.
yeah, I mean,
Wow.
like 15 years ago, but
So
it's awesome.
well, that was a great mix, I think, of some fiction and nonfiction for you all. And like I said, the list that we included here in the comments, I don't know if that's how I'm supposed to, it looks like maybe the link didn't work, but if you just paste that in, it'll work. Or you could just go to the website and probably Amber put it on there because Amber is on top of things. So that was and if you have any questions, you can also, if you're watching this later, you can send us an email. info@onemorepagebooks.com if you want more specific recommendations, or you want to if you want to know which of these would be good for whom, etc., etc. They all look so pretty together. Well, look at these beautiful covers we picked. Okay.
Happy days.
Thank you all so much. I hope you are finding something to make you happy, whether it's a book or a TV show or an animal, pet of some kind.
Food.
Food. Oh yes, certainly.
Just being honest.
Thanks for the Reese's, Kyle, and the truffles, Sally. They're all amazing. All the sugar is really keeping us going.
Yeah.
Sugar and dogs. So yeah, stay safe, everybody. And I think, is this our last one? I think it is, because next week, yeah, this is so wow. Great job, anyone who watched. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry, my laptop wasn't as cooperative, but hey, here we are. We're all doing great. Thanks so much. Yeah. See you guys. See you guys soon, hopefully.
Bye, guys. Happy holidays.